Today we're going to learn about lessons from young home buyers.
And the lessons that they are teaching us, the tables have turned. Our children are teaching us more than just technology. They're teaching us about what they've learned about home buying.
Hello everybody, my name is Barry Horvath and this is Moving Forward TV with your local market update.
And I am DeLynn Gaston. Thank you for joining us today. On today's show we are talking about, as we said, the things that the millennials and the buyers out there right now, our first-time home buyers, are teaching us veterans here in the real estate world
what are you
about
saying? We're
what they're
old?
doing. Yeah, kind of.
Oh.
We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, I know. This is show number 200 and
whatever.
Yeah. We've been doing this since the early 50s. But anyway, but yes, we are going to talk about first-time home buyers and the lessons that they're teaching us. And some things have definitely changed in the marketplace, and they know what they want, but they are also learning as they go. And
so are we learning from hearing about this. This article that you brought to us is excellent, and it talks about some of the things that we don't think about. As real estate professionals, mortgage professionals, we know that they get home inspections done and things like that, but there's some other things that we kind of don't think about, and we wanted to talk about that. But before we do that,
yes,
what are we going to do?
We're going to introduce our guest.
I was going to say, it's your job to introduce the guest.
Oh yeah, I get paid for that, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Well,
you get paid the big bucks.
We have the one, the only, the queen of Chasco, Angel Cook from Leaders Insurance.
Yes.
And she's going to help share some insight too about the insurance perspective for these first-time home buyers too. So
because that is definitely one of the things that a lot of people have a big problem with, is the cost and the expense and things like that. And insurance is up there, you know, whether you're in a condo, a villa, a house, you know. So let's just, I guess, you want to just go right into that part of it? Maybe?
Whatever you want to
the cost part of it. I actually was going to save that part because it's probably the bigger of the parts. All right, so maybe we'll save the expense of it until later. But let's talk first about some of the things that what do they have there? Why don't you start us off there?
So let's talk about some of the things. You know, when you're buying a property, here's in my mind what the first-time home buyers are doing. The first thing they do is they go online.
They do.
They look at pictures.
Yep.
And they see the price, and then they don't think about all of the other little things, because when you walk in the home, you kind of get caught up in, wow, look how beautiful and big this room is. My bed will fit here, and my couch will fit here, and my big screen TV, there's room on the wall here, and look how beautiful the yard is, and and the colors and all that. They don't get caught, you know, you don't think about the long-term details, like if you're buying a townhome, because you know, most of your millennials now, they want that maintenance-free living.
Right.
So they're looking at the condos, they're looking at the townhomes. Well, some of these have limited parking.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you've got a driveway that's this big, and there's nowhere to park, and you park on the street, and I know you've had experience.
I was going to say, not even just the townhomes, but if you live in a subdivision, you know, a planned unit development, a PUD or something, one side of the street, no parking, and I've gotten towed more times than I care to you know, I paid some tow truck driver quite a bit of money because my car got towed. So you had 10 minutes.
You know you're in trouble when you have a personal relationship with the tow truck.
Yeah, exactly. I knew exactly where to go find my car. Let's put it that way. You know? Oh, are you kidding me?
I saw a bumper sticker going down the highway the other day, and it said, "I go where I'm towed."
Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah, so that, I mean, that may be something that you don't even think about. Or I love,
if you entertain a lot and you're going to have a lot of parties at your house or something like that, think about it. Now, you just had your son's wedding not too long ago, and you live in a subdivision that does not have a lot of
As a matter of fact,
Parking.
yeah, we don't. There's not a lot of parking, but we have a huge dock and boat area. And I know you were the shuttle driver. So
I was directing traffic outside.
Can I share that little story?
Sure.
Okay, so we have, Angel hasn't heard it. So we have 85 people come over my house, okay? All right. And
the day before the wedding.
The day before the wedding.
Rehearsal dinner.
We have all these people, and I'm like, I was very careful. We made a proper gate code for the guests to come in. I knew there'd be a lot of traffic, and my streets aren't exactly super wide.
Right.
And DeLynn's out there. She's driving the golf cart, directing traffic, sending people down. Well, all of a sudden, the president of my HOA during the party is blowing my phone up, and I'm like, oh no, here it comes. I'm in trouble. I'm going to get kicked. I'm going to get, fined something. So I'm like, here we go. So I answer the call, and it's loud. And I go, is everything okay? And he's like, yeah. Listen, I see you're having a party, but is Ansley there? I'm like,
from Jewel Vera?
From Jewel Vera. I go, yeah, why? Oh, because my daughter loves her. Can she come down and get a picture with her and meet her? I'm like, sure, send her over. So my fear was I was in trouble. No.
So the lesson is make friends with the HOA president.
There you go.
And make sure
That's what you need to say for the home buyers.
Make sure they're a fan of your son's band. That's
yes.
all.
So the funny thing is so the HOA people, right? So, and I didn't know who they were, but these people come and they pull up in front of the house, and I'm saying, I'm sorry, you can't park here. We're having everybody park down the street at the boat dock. You go down here, you take a right, and 2 cars, this big truck and this minivan. And this little girl and her mom pops out, and this guy pops out, and I say, and I'm sorry, you can't park here, we have to, and she says, well, we're just going to be a minute, we just want to run in, and I'm like, yeah, but you can't park here, we have to do that, can you just, maybe park over here down in this driveway, this person next door said. So in any event, she says, it's okay, my husband's the president of the HOA. Oh, okay then.
We'll take whatever you want.
Go ahead, do what you want.
VIP spot for you right here.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so back to the lessons.
Yeah, I know.
We got
parking. Make sure there's plenty of parking.
Absolutely.
If you do entertaining, or as you were saying, if you live in a condo, a townhome, a villa, or something like that, do you get 1 spot? Do you get 2 spots? And what does happen? Where are guest spots? And how many are there? That's a big thing.
I think so. I think it's a very big thing. Now, here's another point I like.
Okay.
Being honest with your real estate agent. This is a big, major purchase, okay?
And can I also say, and then being honest with your insurance person?
We're going to get to that.
I thought you were going to say that, but yeah.
So, you don't need to be, you have to be cordial, but you don't need to be polite. If your agent's going to show you homes that you're not interested in, that don't fit your criteria, don't waste his time or her time and go out and see
exactly.
them.
And
you need to be honest with them and tell them, this is not in my price range. This is not what I'm looking for.
Or, going along with that, when I was looking for a house, the real estate agents, and hopefully everybody is doing that, have them email you the links first. Drive the neighborhoods. Don't just look at the pretty pictures. They took great pictures. Yeah. Don't just look at the pretty pictures. Drive that neighborhood first. See if it's a neighborhood that you want to live in before wasting everybody's time, the homeowner's time, the listing agent's time, your buyer's agent's time, and your time.
That's a great point.
Making an appointment to go and see that house. When you look at the house next door and you go, oh my gosh, I don't want to live here. Drive the neighborhood before.
Okay, well, we got a lot to cover.
Yeah.
But right now we're going to go to break, and we're going to come back with some perspective on the insurance side with Angel.
Be honest with your insurance person.
We'll be back right after this. All right, we're back, everybody, and we're learning about lessons from young buyers. And
I thought that they brought up some really good points with one of the things that they did say was the cost. They weren't expecting it.
Yes.
No matter how much, and I know a lot of you real estate professionals out there, you tell them the very first thing, talk to a mortgage person. And hopefully the mortgage people that you're talking to them about is not only covering can they afford the payment, but bottom line, people ask me, what's my payment and how much do I need at closing? And it's not only at closing, but after closing, right? They're going to need a little bit of cushion money to buy the trash cans for the house, to buy the toilet bowl brushes and, things like that.
You're always going to need more money than you think you do. Because closing costs alone on a home could be from 2% on a bigger loan to 6% on a...
I hate saying the percentages,
but that's a big broad range.
But you're right.
And, not only do you have to be honest with your real estate agent about what you can afford and what you can buy, and your mortgage person.
Right.
But you also need to be honest with your insurance person.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
and Angel was telling us she has sometimes that things have come back, right? People aren't being honest with you. And
so what can happen, and why do they need to be honest with you?
So good question, because typically, it's a little bit different with homeowners insurance than it is with auto insurance. Because with auto insurance, we do all our homework right up front. So we can run the reports and find out, well, you say there was no tickets or accidents, but I can see that right away. With homeowners insurance, we cannot do that. It has to go to underwriting. And the only time that it goes to underwriting is after we have bound the coverage, after we have already done the policy, and you have signed that application saying that it's true and correct. So when anybody calls me, I go through all those annoying questions. Have you had a bankruptcy, foreclosure, repossession? Have you had any insurance claims in the last 5 years? Even if it's a property that you own currently or before. We're not talking about just the property that you're purchasing. It's all encompassed. We need to know if the property you're purchasing has had any claims. We need to know if you have filed any claims on any other properties, even a renter's policy.
Really?
Yes. Because it's claim history. Remember, insurance is all about risk. So an insurance company needs to know, are you high risk or are you low risk? It's very important. Do you have any dogs? And people will say, well, what does it matter? Because honestly, a lot of companies, they don't even give you animal liability anymore. However, you still are not allowed to have a dangerous breed dog.
And a dangerous breed dog is considered?
Pit bull, German Shepherd, Rottweiler, wolf breed.
I know.
But honestly, there are a lot of companies now that are removing German Shepherds, which is great news.
Because I think a lot of German Shepherds are just...
They are. Here is the difference, though. It's about if they bite, the potential injury.
Right.
German Shepherd's bite is very strong. So should they bite, the injury is going to be extensive. So it's all about risk. So that's how the insurance company looks at it. So those are the initial things that we need to know about. Of course, when we take the information, we need to know about any updates. So if a real estate agent calls me or emails me and says, I need a quote, a lot of times the real estate agents that I work with, they know what I'm looking for. So they'll say, Angel, it's a primary home or it's a rental home. Roof was replaced in 2010. They go through these facts for me because I've tried to train them to say, for the best quote, I need all this information up front. Also, it's great. I can just get an address, I can quote it, and I can give you a great price. But then if I wait and I don't do the insurance underwriting right up front, I go ahead and offer you a policy. The price is great. We go ahead to do the application. And guess what? I ask the questions then, and I have to take that price away. That's a terrible feeling, because now it is. So I try very hard not to do that. That is why I always kind of give my disclaimer up front and say, okay, now I'm going to ask a lot of questions, but I promise you that's so that I give you the most accurate quote right away, up front. You get that email with that quote, and you know it's not going to change.
That's good to know.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
And if they call you first,
aren't you glad you asked?
No, that's a good to know. So if they call you first, because a lot of times, sometimes I'll shoot you an email saying, hey, I need an insurance quote on this, but you don't know anything about the people. So it's really just a rough until you actually. So it's probably better if I have the people call you themselves, so you can kind of ask them, do you have a dog, and what kind of dog is it, and you know, have you had a bankruptcy or whatever.
Because you're a broker and have different lines available, you can kind of see, okay, well, they have a claims history. Well, they have bankruptcy. Well, they have... And
that's going to obviously change the quote.
Determine which company you want to...
Absolutely. It absolutely
know how they
will.
underwrite.
Yes. It absolutely.
That gives you a definite advantage, though, and you can.
It does, because I have a lot of companies. So I just had another insurance agent who is an Allstate agent, and they called and said, Angel, you're a broker. I have a client. This is what's happening. They have 2 claims in the last 3 years, within 3 years. I don't have anything because they only have a couple of companies to offer. Well, I have over 10.
Right.
So I can shop it around. I can get the best price for them. And so I run it through all the scenarios.
Wow. So let's talk about the costs again for our young buyers when they come in. So, okay, if they're a cash deal, how does that work for insurance?
Cash deal is a little bit different, only because you're not going to have, or I'm not going to have, and the buyer's not going to have those requirements that mortgage companies look for, as far as they put limitations on what their deductibles can be, what coverages they have to have versus they don't have to have. If it's a cash deal, they can say, I don't want wind coverage.
Right.
I really hope they don't say that. But I will strongly try
to talk them out
advise against that. However, but it does happen because it's a cash deal. So maybe they have their account set up to where they can manage those losses.
Right.
But at the same time, they don't have to pay in full for the year for insurance if it's a cash deal.
They can pay it quarterly, monthly, something like that.
Absolutely.
All right, so
your dwelling coverage doesn't have to match within a certain percentage of the loan value.
The loan, right.
There are a lot of different things that go along with a cash deal.
Okay, and again, going back to how much they're going to need at closing, so we're going to pay on a property that we're doing a loan on. We're going to require to pay the policy in full for the year, and we're going to put in reserves another couple of months.
So the first year's premium up front, and if there's flood insurance, first year's flood insurance as well. So let's just say, for round numbers, if it's $1,200 a year for their homeowner's insurance and $1,200 a year for flood insurance, now it's $2,400 at closing, which is why I hate to say things like, oh, it's going to be 2 to 5%. It's not a percentage. It depends on so many factors.
Plus the reserves for the escrow.
Plus the reserves for the escrow.
So these are costs that people don't think about. They think,
that's right.
Oh, my closing costs are this, but you know what? You need reserves for that insurance, for your taxes.
Right.
But, you know.
So as the real estate professional, please, please, please advise your people, your clients, to talk to a good mortgage person and make sure that mortgage person goes over all the costs with them, including the escrows for insurance, taxes, and things like that.
All right, we got to go to break. So
I know.
We got some more great information coming up right after this. Okay, we're back with working with our first-time home buyers and
the
costs associated
of buying
with
a house, right?
And what we've learned from them. So, you know.
But some of the other things, what we've learned from them, that they.
Excuse me, I was talking. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Some of the things that we've learned from them that they've learned after the fact. So spend a little time up front. And one of the big things is HOAs, whether it's condos, townhomes, villas, or even, like I said, a subdivision like Barry's. Some of them let you put Christmas decorations up, some don't. Some of them will let you put a flag up. Some won't. We've seen that on the news. They won't even let them have an American flag up sometimes. So make sure you check all of these things out if you are considering anything like that.
And remember, when you belong to these HOAs or going to buy in a community, townhome, condo, even a regulated, single family, you have to apply.
They have to approve you. Right.
And that is an additional cost. Some are $100, just to apply to say, yeah, we're going to let you live in our community.
Yep.
And they have a right to.
And that's another cost, an application fee.
Yep.
And then sometimes they have like a proration if you're buying in the middle of the month that you're going to have to pay as well.
Some, I like the NFL ticket, so I want DirecTV. Well, you have, some communities you have to apply for that.
Right.
And again, you may have to pay a fee just to apply because somebody in a management company has to take that into consideration.
Just make sure you know all that stuff up front before you sign that contract.
Yeah, and well, I want my house. It's all great to have your own dream home. You can pick your colors inside. You can put pictures where you want. You can decorate it the way you want. I mean, that's the American dream.
Sure.
But maybe you want to paint the color of your house pink.
And the HOA says,
no.
I don't think so.
So you probably don't want to buy in there.
Right.
But
there's also big differences. We were talking with Angel during the break between condos, townhomes, things like that.
Absolutely.
So tell us about the insurance cost difference. A lot of confusion on that.
A lot of confusion.
Because people think, oh, my condo fees are $300 a month, and they said that covers
includes the insurance.
The insurance. So what does that mean?
So this is where having a very good real estate agent comes in so handy. I really cannot stress. We have quite a few.
Yeah, we do.
We are very lucky. However, when you're looking, there is a difference between a PUD, the planned unit development, and a condo association. It doesn't appear to be different when you look at bylaws. Here's what's very important. Insurance companies, if the association is filed with the state of Florida as a condo association, then it's a true condo, which means insurance-wise, you only have to insure from the drywall in. Now, I'll go more into detail how that works. However, just sticking with the current topic, the PUD, the planned unit development, most insurance companies do not like that. The reason why is because they are not filed with the state of Florida as a condo association, which means, let's say 1 year they get their renewal for their insurance and all of your property, and they go, it's too much, and the board votes and they say, we're not going to provide building insurance anymore. Everyone has to get their own. And they don't have to refile with the state of Florida. So it's a big potential risk if you're not paying attention to your mail, your email, however your association communicates that fact to you. And if you don't understand what they're saying to you, you would keep an HO6 policy, a condo policy, drywall in, and not switch it over to a homeowner's policy, which encompasses the entire structure. And guess what? You have a claim. You are not insured correctly. It's a very big risk. And that's why insurance companies don't like that.
And you found that happening?
I do.
Really?
And I have lost sales because I will not give the person an HO6 policy versus a homeowner's policy. I will tell them you need to have a homeowner's policy, and they want a condo policy, and they will go to another agent and get that condo policy. And as much as you don't want to lose that client,
how can another agency give them the condo
because quite
if it's
frankly,
not a condo anymore?
Well, and I'll tell you, it's accountability. Because a lot of times, and this is how it should be, to be quite honest, you're responsible. I've told you as a licensed agent, I don't recommend it. You have made the decision to go ahead with the condo because I can sell it to you. I can sell it to you because at the moment that you are asking for it, the bylaws are in place with the association that they have the master policy. Okay? The problem is do I want to risk it?
Right.
Because even though I've warned them that things could change and they need to stay on top of it, 5 years down the road, the association changes. Now they have to go ahead and carry a homeowner's policy. They forget or they don't understand the letter.
Right.
I am then at fault because I don't know that they've changed. There's no way for me to stay on top of that. I don't know that the association is no longer providing insurance.
Right.
They have a claim. I am then at fault. So I don't take on the risk. Agents will say, well, that's the insurer's risk. If they don't notify us, that's their risk that they took on, and we're off the hook. I don't ever believe that I'm off the hook, and so I just don't like to take the chance.
Wow.
So much to know and learn.
Wow. I didn't know that either.
So, well, you know what? We need to start wrapping up, and and,
I know, we
and
can
wrap
go
up
on
what
forever on
yeah,
this stuff.
we can, and there's so much we can learn from those young millennial buyers, because you know what you're talking about is important, because statistics show that the millennials want that easy living. They want maintenance free. That's the trend. You're seeing they want the amenities. They want the pool. They want the gated community. They don't want to mow the lawn. They don't want to take care of the shrubs.
Neither do I don't blame them. We only have so much time on a weekend, right? We want to enjoy our weekend.
But it's important they know the difference between the policies, the additional costs.
And you know what I was reading recently? They're starting to buy again. You know, for a while they were living in their parents' basement and they said they're not buying. Guess what? The newest trends, they are buying. So they are out there. They're who our clients are. So
yeah. So anything else you want to share? Any other tips that you were talking about the people
standing in the bathtub? Did I already say that?
No.
I know we've been talking about this all morning. Okay, so one of the things, you know, I know we get home inspections and things like that, but tell your people stand in the bathtub, because there was a couple of stories.
We're going to hear it from
clients stood inside the bath. They had their home inspections. They turned on all of the faucets. They flushed all the toilets. They did all of that during the home inspections. However, they never stood inside the shower, in the bathtub. And you know what? They found cracks when they stood inside after the closing. When they went to take their first shower, they stood inside, and that's when they found some cracks.
Listen,
I had
our real estate agents are going to hate us for telling them that.
I had a client who they painted the tub and it looked beautiful. So in all the pictures it looks great and everything, it looks great. When she stood inside of it after she bought the house, there was cracks in the paint, and then it started chipping and peeling. So the paint wasn't done very well. These are things that could have been done ahead of time.
Some great information. So
I know.
You know what? Get us out on social media. Share this information. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
We are. All those fun things.
Tell your friends about us so they can learn about all this great information.
And please stay tuned. Keep in touch with us through our website also for our networking group, which is wpba.biz. We are always doing .rocks. We're always doing cool stuff in the community. You guys all know that already, so please check us out.
We got some great upcoming events in January. So.
And you'll want to be a part of it.
Yes.
We're going to, where are we going? A lightning game?
We got a lightning game coming up. And we got Taste of Trinity.
Taste of Trinity.
Taste of Trinity is coming up.
It's going to be a great year. So.
As my stomach growls. Yes. What timing on that?
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you guys. We are today and every day
moving forward.
We'll see everybody next week.
Hey, we didn't even have to prompt her. She's good. She's a pro.
I know. She's a pro. Bye.
See you next week.